Hey, we are back here. We're back here with another uh, episode, we want to call it, of just my ideas and regarding to how, especially if you're watching this and you come from a first generation immigrant family, like myself, millennials, or you just are trying to find a way after student loans and all these other things that we learned along the way. I really wanted to discuss. I ran into an article today, really talking about how this pandemic and everything that's happened the last year has really made the wealth gap a lot more larger. Um, in a way, made the wealth gap even worse than what it was before, because a lot of the people that were impacted during this pandemic and this whole job situation, a lot of individuals, unemployment, all these things that we are hearing about, especially in the minority communities, really affected most of the minorities, as opposed to obviously the counterparts, which is obviously the individuals with higher salaries and higher net worths, right? So, as you know, here we talk on our channel about all about building your wealth for the future, right? Wealth, generational wealth, also for your retirement, for your to learn how to become an investor. And if you're not about that, and again, this channel is just mostly about how to put your money to work for you in the long run. There's many channels here that you can watch that show you how to, day trade and make profits and really, I would say, make a lot of money on when it comes to investing. But for us, I mean, for you and whoever's watching, if you're watching this channel, it's most likely because you are wondering how you want to build your wealth for the long term, and at the same time, do it in a way that you don't have to be a genius, to be an expert, and also you don't have to be constantly watching the CNN and CNBC and all these channels to make sure that you're up to date with your financial news. So yeah, let's go right to it. I personally think, this is a personal opinion, if you were affected, and I was, all of us, especially individuals that were living I live in the minority community, working class community, I could see the effects, right? A lot of individuals lost their job, a lot of long lines on food pantries, a lot of businesses closed down, especially small businesses. And this is just a domino effect of what the last year and a half has really brought to us. But although this is really a lesson for a lot of us as well, I think it's a great lesson for where we move as far as the future, how we move forward, and how to really rethink, as we always say, and I watch other channels too, how to rethink how we generate our income and what we do with our income, right? If you have the opportunity to have a great salary, a great job, or a great career with great benefits, how to maximize that to eventually not have to leave your career. But if you come to a situation like what happened last year, you wouldn't have to, in a way, downsize. You wouldn't have to maybe take on other careers different from what you were doing because you have no other options. So building our building your wealth, it has a lot of benefits to it. We often hear about the wealth gap. How do we, make it better? How can we maybe tax the wealthy and hopefully it'll redistribute down to the working class? of individuals, and I personally hear a lot of sides of the story. There's side says that that's going to work, other side says that it won't work, it won't be efficient. So I don't know. I'm not an economist to kind of give you the exact scenarios and tell you what is right and what is not. But one thing I know you can control is what you do with your income, how you manage it, right? That is the only thing we control, right? So the there's a lot of things in life I feel that you can. They say if you can't beat them, you join them. You've heard of that a lot of times. I know in my sports, playing sports up, growing up in life, we always say, we have to, if we can't beat them, we have to join them. So you go to a team and you become part of the team because you couldn't beat them. So obviously, we know that investing is one of the routes, one of the, I would say, in the research studies, one of the primary routes to building wealth. A lot of, contrary to what we believe, not all of us can be the next Jeff Bezos. Not all of us can be the next Elon Musk. We are not going to be walking into billions of dollars any day soon. So, for the most part, if you do it consistently and incrementally, you with your time span of, let's say, 20 to 30 years, and depending how much time, how much you are able to invest and how much you're able to dedicate to your learning and education, you can retire with a seven-figure account. And I know it sounds far-fetched. It sounds too far away, right? You only live once, YOLO. I understand that, but there's another way we can do it, right? We can consistently put away for our futures, for our wealth. And again, we'll be surprised, or you will be surprised, how little it takes to put away every single month to be able to generate a not seven figure investment portfolio in your later stages in life, right? Obviously, with the power of compound interest and the power of diligent saving, you're able to accomplish this. So I honestly think that really getting educated in our financial literacy, it will definitely help with the wealth gap. Yes, we're not gonna probably make a dent in how much billions and billions of the wealth is there in the upper 1% or whatnot they call it, but at least we can set ourselves to be a little bit more, I would say, comfortable than what we are, right? I am the ones that believe that we can control our futures. Not our future, what's going to happen, but we control financially in a sense, do our due diligence, and just put away some money for our futures, and let it grow, and just kind of let it become its own, as I say, its own flourishing in its own account, that we just don't look at it and just keep on consistently investing. Well, that's why I kind of made the videos on my channel recently, changing from, hopefully most of my things was most about your mental health. I really wanted to also jump into our financial health, because it's all related, right? First and foremost, if we're mentally not, I would say, aware or healthy, everything else is in chaos. So first and foremost, we have to take care of our mental health. And I think I know for me, working class individuals, including myself, there's a lot of things that we're bombarded with, whether it's the media, whether it's our own personal problems, debt, of health problems. There's so many things that come into a lot of our lives that really deter us and really distract us from focusing on in a way building yourself better. At the end of the day, we just want to become 1% better than we were yesterday, right? We're not trying to do something that's drastically not achievable. We're trying to do it consistently and persistently for the long term. So do that first. I know this video is about the wealth gap, but I personally think we first have to really focus on our mental health and understand, like, are we where we are mentally? Where is it that are we? Are we great? Do we have gratitude? Are we also giving and empathetic and all these things that are needed for us to grow as an individual? Once you have that, then we really want to just get ourselves educated, and I'm educating myself every single day on financial literacy. You know what I mean by that is picking up a book. You know, we never really were taught about these things on the way money works, on how it's a tool, on how it's not just uh, it's not just for us to consume and to well to get and to consume and to it's a cycle of just getting and spending. And it's how to take a portion of that and have it grow for us and work for us, so eventually we don't have to work for it, right? And this whole system that we kind of forget, and we weren't taught, a lot of us in school, that we have to learn ourselves. And I think personally, the faster you're able to learn it, the the better off you're gonna be when it comes to your own future goals, right? The sooner you can start, the better, as far as investing. But we have to be educated. We have to educate ourselves and really want to learn about it, right? You have to make an effort. You want to be able to change your. I know about practice. It talks about it a lot in this channel about change your paradigm. You want to be able to really be motivated to do it, right? You want to change your wealth, your generational wealth path, and if it's not for yourself, for your kids, grandkids, whatever it may be, but understanding that it doesn't take that much effort. You don't need to be an expert. Um, it's more about having the discipline and just the knowledge of where you want to put your monies in, but for the most part, it's mostly about discipline and also just changing that your mental mindset, as far as we as collectively, as for me, from Latino communities, we don't purchase much assets, right? We really focus on buying things that make us feel good or that really look good or make us look good, right? I know growing up in a Dominican household, it's all about looking good, right? You go outside in the Sundays, how to get the fresh shirt, fresh jeans, fresh shoes, but nobody really talks about purchasing things that will make you, that would take care of you in the future, right? So not only make you look good, but actually take care of you good, uh, financially in the future. So you can have the great look, the great outfits, but if at a future date you have to go out there to to produce to continue your lifestyle, then you're kind of trading your time for money, and we know that that's not a sustainable situation. As we know from me, as I get older, I realize that there's only so much hours you can work in a day, and so many hours you can work in a week, and as we know, as you continue to work more, you actually sometimes you actually end up not having less because you let inflation lifestyle creep up, and it's not only about what you make. You start learning as you get older. It's not about what you make. When I was younger, I always thought that it was about what you made. If I made a six figures, I was set. I was gonna be rich, right? That was my whole mentality. Now that I'm in my mid 30s, I understood that it's not just about how much you make. You can make more money and spend the same amount of money you make at the same time. So it's not only about what you make, it's also about how you manage it and what you do with it, and learning and educating yourself on buying assets, right? And when I mean buying assets, I mean buying things that produce for you, eventually grow by themselves, and don't take out money out of your pocket. That's like the number one thing I feel like, if we want to go ahead and cut down this wealth gap and be able to at least make a dent on it as a community, when it comes for the black and brown communities, we as a collective, we have to just stop, I think, over consuming, right? There's a lot of things we can probably not can go without, and we continue to buy. I'm a big victim of it as well. I might have 5, 6 pairs of sneakers. Do I really need all those sneakers? Probably not. But we are sometimes over consuming, and it takes away from our future wealth, future time, because now we have to continue working for this money to be able to survive. And I think just changing that perspective, right? Learning how money works will give us a chance to really make a dent on the wealth gap. Understanding that every time we go out there and we consume, we're taking away from our future selves. And again, we also consume, I think, consciously, right? Buying things that make you happy, right? Everybody's different. again, I love sports. I love purchasing sports apparel, stuff like that. That's my thing. A lot of individuals might like art, might like shoes and clothing. We're not saying we don't want to consume our own things, but do it with a healthy balance where you're able to still put away some of your income in reserves for saving for your future, for investing, and having that balance, right? It's a new. I think there's a new generation, millennials, myself. We have been through a lot, but we are waking up. We're learning. We're understanding how the system works, and it's all at the same time there for us to gain, right? To become, but at the same time, it's also there for us to keep on doing what we do every single day if we don't educate ourselves. And again, the healthy balance, and you see a lot of channels. I've seen a lot of the channels as well, purchasing assets in the long run, and letting those assets pay for our lifestyles and take care of us. And that could be in many ways. It could be a business. It could be into the stock market. It can be into I don't know what other investments are there. Real estate, real estate, and whatever works for you. Everybody has their own thing. I've met individuals that they love real estate. That's all they do. Individuals that love stock market. That's all they do. Personally, for me, it's just I love more investing in stock market. Everybody's different, but you pick your asset class and ride with it. Have your assets working for you in the long run, and not letting the money control you, right? So if I was to give myself advice and anybody else watching, is controlling our money and not letting it control us, right? Designating your money to its own purpose. I've read this in other books as well. Giving your dollar a purpose, giving a dollar a job. If the dollar is going for your bills, this dollar is going for your investments, this dollar is going for your rent, this dollar is going for your light bill, this dollar is going for your gas, grocery. Your dollar is your employee, and you're giving it a job, making it work for you, not having you have to work for it forever. I mean, there's a time for everything, right? In life, we're gonna have a time that we have to work for it. We have to go out there and produce to make this money. But eventually, you want to have that money eventually come back and work for you, right? Make it reward you for making it work for you. So, if you're watching this and you're struggling with what to do with your new monies, and you don't know what to do with it, and you're just, packing it up, putting it underneath your mattress, it's not gonna work. You have to put it to work. You have to buy assets that will be able to pay you back, and grow with time. Banks are great, but if you put all your monies in there, you're guaranteed to not have even growth with inflation and everything else in the long run. So start investing in something, start buying assets, start educating yourself. Pick your asset class that you want to put into, and start getting this, they call it skin in the game. You have to get in the game. Until then, you will not understand it. You will not learn it because you don't have nothing to lose. So please, let's go out there today. Let's learn. Let's educate ourselves. Pick up some books. Watch some other videos. I recommended 2 books if you want to do before you start investing. I also have a video where 4 things you want to do before you start investing, because sometimes it's not just the investing. You want to take care of your whole financial outlook, your whole financial profile before you start investing, and then you're able to start creating wealth. So I hope you're liking this content and material. I will keep continuing putting it out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.